When you either go to the range or you're servicing your rifle, it's important that you have a collection of all of the tools that you're going to need to do it. If you get to the range and you don't have the stuff you need, it's going to be an unenjoyable experience or a very short trip. For this reason, I've over time amassed all the things that I need to work on my rifle and have developed a system, as most have, and put it all in a dry box. This is going to be a tour of my dry box for percussion rifle only, and the things that I've collected and used on a regular basis to service the rifle. I'll also point out before I begin that I never use the rod that comes with the rifle. I have one here it has a wooden handle as well as this brass piece so that the rod doesn't wear on the end of the rifle. So let's get started. You might notice some duplication here. I keep things for both 50 and 54 caliber in the box. Sometimes I move them out depending on which rifles I'm taking to the range. I just wanted to point that out from the get-go. Starting off, I'll move this handle down. Starting off at the left here is where I keep the patches that I'm going to be using at the actual time of shooting. So these are generally patches that I'm using when I'm loading the rifle. They're not cleaning patches, right? So they go right there. Over here, this is where I have my powder measure, the grain scale. And this is a device that is opened like this. And I turn this knob right here, and I could set how many grains of powder I want, right? And lock that knob down. And then I can fill the powder in there to that leveled amount, close it up, and then pour this down into the rifle and know exactly and consistently how much powder I'm pouring down every single time. That's the purpose of this. The other purpose of this is also so you're not pouring powder from a 2-pound black powder container directly down into the rifle, where if there's a burning ember, the entire 2-pound container will blow up in your hands, and yeah, it wouldn't end well. The next item here is the ball starter. This one is for 50 caliber, and when you have the ball and patch on the top of the rifle, you're able to, with your hand, push it down to start it the first, quarter of an inch or so, and then once it's down a quarter of an inch, you can use this part and push it down several inches into the barrel of the rifle, and at that point you could get the ramrod in there to go the rest of the way, and that's the purpose of the bowl starter. This wrench right here serves a single purpose, and this is to unscrew the nipple for the percussion cap that is located on the back of the rifle. I'm going to point out that this and this are identical, but they are different calibers, so I'll just pull out one of them. Pull out this one right here. The purpose of this goes on to the end of a ramrod. If I get a patch, perhaps a cleaning patch, stuck down the bottom of the barrel that I can't get out, I can attach this to the end of the ramrod, push it down the barrel, and then twist it so it grabs onto that patch, and then be able to pull it out. That's all this is for, is to pull that foreign object out of the barrel. And just to show really quickly, same exact thing in 54 caliber. This one here is every black powder operator's worst nightmare. The purpose of this device is to remove a bullet from the rifle in the event that one of two things happens. One, you can't get it to fire. Something went wrong, and to no avail, it's not firing, and now you're stuck with a rifle with a bullet all the way down the barrel. This will attach onto a rod. You could screw it into the lead. You can see here that it has threads. You screw it into lead, and with somebody holding the rifle, you pull that rod and pull the bullet out of the barrel. It's a painful process. It does work, however. This happens because of, as I mentioned, there can be issues with the powder, but most regrettably, one of the most common reasons that this happens is because somebody actually loads a bullet into the rifle and forgets to put powder in. And everybody is guilty of this. I've done it before as well. But that's what this is. This is a bullet extractor. This device right here allows a small wire, which I will show you. You can see a small wire coming up. This small wire is able to go into the vent hole when it gets plugged, so the vent hole could be cleaned out after several shots should the vent hole be getting dirty. So in situations where you can get this down into a particular location, maybe where the nipple is, where the percussion cap goes, and then push this wire would make its way in, clear any obstruction, and then allow you to keep firing the gun without completely disassembling it. So this is a useful device, used a lot in the summer in Florida during the humid weather. This right here, recessed nice and deep so they don't fall. These are the percussion caps. I generally use number 11 as shown. I'll open it up, and they're pretty volatile, so if you drop them, you know, they'll ignite. And these are what go on to the end of that nipple that when hit, you know, ignite and set the gun off, right? So those are the percussion caps. Because the percussion caps are so small and volatile, you know, when you drop them and things happen, they have this device right here, and this is a percussion cap loader. And what you do is you sit there and you spend some time and you load them from the bottom here, right? It's a spring-loaded device, and as they load in, you can see there's one in there right now. I'll show you. And basically, they load in this chamber, and you keep pushing until the next one gets loaded into position like that. And this allows you to go up to the rifle, push it down on that nipple, pop it off, and it's loaded onto the rifle without trying to do it with your fingers and dropping it on the floor. And you can hold 10 of them. So one after the other. The next one, you would pop it in position, lock it down, load it, lock it down, load it, without dropping them all over the place. And that's what this is. It's a percussion cap loader. We can't see down here in the recesses, but I'll pull out some of these things here. This tool right here is for 50 caliber, and we can see this goes on to the end of a rod. This is used during cleaning primarily, and this is just used really quickly during the cleaning event. And all it does is give the bottom a good scrape, because you can see it has a nice 90-degree surface, and it's brass and it won't harm the metal, and it just cleans up the end of the rifle at the breech, and allows, as you spin it, to get any grime out of there while you're cleaning. And that's all that this does. This is another bullet remover again, but this one is 50 caliber. The one I previously showed over here is 54. These three attachments connect onto the end of the rod, and they are used for cleaning. This one is 54 caliber. These two are 50 caliber. I'll also show in a video how this is useful not only for cleaning, but it's also used as a plunger when half of the barrel or the bottom portion of the barrel is submerged in water, how it pulls water up through the bottom of the barrel and back down when the water's mixed with hot water and ballast oil to give it a good cleaning. But that's what they're for. They're just cleaning purposes only. Another useful cleaning tool is this brush. This is a brass brush that connects to the end of a rod, and this is also used during the cleaning time to go into the barrel and get in between the rifling and whatnot to ensure that the inside of the barrel is nice and clean. We're not done yet. We're only at the first level. So let me close this. And now we'll open up the next level. Let's see what we got. So these patches are, I buy these are store-bought. These are actually like t-shirt material. These are cleaning patches. They are used during gun cleaning. They're also used between firing for that fouling buildup that happens. I clean between every shot, you know, 1 or 2 patches go through for consistency. So that's what these are, cleaning patches. I also keep, for whatever reason, foam earplugs, even though I got the Mickey Mouse ones, but I don't know, just force a habit in the box as well. Extra screwdriver. Again, you never know when you need one. So this is interesting. I bought this at my local black powder store. This is a cap. This is a cap from a GoX container that one of the workers in the store made. And basically it's just a spent casing that's been glued into that cap. And what it makes for is a nice dispenser that I put on the black powder container, and then I use an unspent cartridge as a cap out on the road so that moisture doesn't get in. It makes a nice seal, and there you go. So I have a cover for it. Now we can take this section off and open up a little bit further. Our last video had us testing with some Hornady commercial bullets, so I still have these round balls in the box here. So yeah, so sometimes it's mine and sometimes it is commercial. So there we go. Of course, it wouldn't be a black powder rifle without black powder. This is Triple F GoX, and as I mentioned previously, this dispenser is the same cap, so it fits right on top, and then it has that nice custom cover for that cap that goes on there. I also keep a bottle of Ballistol. This is used for the cleaning that I do on the rifle after I've used it, but also if I'm transporting it or I need like a day or so before I'm able to clean it, I will wet patch the rifle and the surrounding areas of metal that'll be affected by black powder with this. This will stop it from rusting for a day or two if you lay it on thick like. This is really good stuff. This is my other bowl starter. This is for 54 caliber. I just keep it in the bottom of the box. If I'm going out with 54 that day, this will be on the top of the box. The 50 will be in the bottom. So I had mentioned the extractor, the bowl extractor with the screw on it in case you forgot to load powder and you accidentally pushed a ball down and now you have to have somebody hold the rifle while you drag the lead ball out. This is a CO2 cartridge that can be used. You could put this on the nipple, hold it down really tight, and press this button with the safety off, and it'll inject air into the front, and the ball kind of shoots out of the front of the rifle about 20 feet. It goes thump like that, and that's one way of removing the ball. This is a lot more convenient, I'll admit, than using the screw and pulling method. So these are various other patches that I have, and not only the patches themselves, but for the particular patches, I also like to know what size they are. So I keep the labels and the description of the patch so I know which one they correspond to, because you want to know what caliber, what thickness the patches are. So I have a couple of them down here in the box. And finally, I have an extra case of percussion caps, another 100 of them. If you have no percussion caps, you're pretty much out of business, so it's always good to keep an extra box handy. So I hope you enjoyed my tour of my black powder muzzleloader dry box. Thanks for watching.